Willie Mo Jr. here. Bro, welcome to another edition of the Love You More show. Family, I'm so excited about this show because guess what? It is a big show for everybody who, well, wait a minute. I'm gonna tell you that in a minute. But right now, can you subscribe, hit that little notification bell, and make sure that you tell as many people as possible about the #1 show that's blowing up the internet. Boom, boom, come on, blowing up. Okay, I'm gonna do better. But listen, make sure you subscribe and enjoy the show. Check this out.
Next on the Love You More show.
And it's something that we overlook for those little things, that little trinkets. Oh, he got a car. Oh, he has a house. Oh, he looks like he's balling. Yeah, he's balling and broke. He's balling on a credit card. Mm-hmm. And are you looking at those things that really matter underneath? Can he handle the person that you're going to become?
What did you do to heal the little girl to be able to handle a man who required you not to raise your voice?
Oh my gosh, therapy and patience. I think oftentimes we talk about patience, we put it in terms of other, but we have to have patience with ourselves. When you are in a job, you need to understand that you are a business. You are a multi-billion-dollar organization and your career is your product. So you are the CEO of that organization. Many of us act like we're just working a job. Even the kids are very clear. That's my husband first. I'm not that person that says, oh, my kids come before everybody. Y'all gonna be grown and gone. And the only people left will be us. And if I put you first, what happens when I'm no longer your first?
You More show. I get an opportunity to hang out with a young lady who adds so much value to the Willie Moore Jr. show. To all of my Willie Moore Jr. show listeners, you already know her. But to those of you who don't, she's literally had 4 or 5 different TED Talks. She's helping so many people like you who are in job opportunities and you may not be getting exactly what you are supposed to get. And she's just shifting the trajectory of culture. And here's the beauty of it all. She's an African-American woman who's been married since marriage started. It seems like it's been forever. The one and only Dietra J.S is here with me. What's going on, sis? How are you?
It is amazing, and thank you for that phenomenal introduction. And since marriage started, you're going to play me like that?
Yeah, I mean, y'all been married forever. How long is it, 20 years?
Yeah, this May will be 23 years.
The Jordan year.
Yep, the Jordan year. This is our Jordan year.
That's so good.
I need all my rings, though, so...
Come on! Do you hear what she said, right? Praise God. So, Dietra, I want to tell you, we start off with a few icebreakers. And since you've been married for 23 years, KD, I want to do clockwork with her. Since you've been married for 23 years, this icebreaker is a time when we had to go to counseling. Bring your attention to this screen, if you don't mind. So, wifey started counseling, and she thought it would be a good idea for me to come to counseling. Man, don't nobody really want to do this. Because I know she'd been telling this woman all my business. I walk into counseling. I didn't know her counsel was this fine. She been telling all my business. I walk in. Hey, ladies. Oh, I was at the wrong spot. And I thank you for joining us. Truly my honor. Willie Mo. Nice to meet you. My honor. This is my counselor, April. So nice to meet her. Wifey like, so glad you can make it, darling. It's truly my honor. You look amazing. You do too. Energy in the room a little tense. Wife done told my business. So let's talk this out. In front of her? Damn. I'm like, okay. You ready? I am. You know, whatever you want me to do, I'm with it. Are you gonna tell the truth? I promise I'm gonna tell the truth. You worth it. Her eyes lit up like a Christmas tree when I told her she was worth it, child.
Time waits for no man. But if I could turn back the hands of time, I would do you better. I just want you to know the love I have for you is like the clockwork. It never stops. This is...
Now I am not a mind reader, but I can tell you're lonely, overlooked. But what's funny is I put a ring on your finger. We both said I do, but we both know the truth. That lately we've been feeling single, cause we don't take the time to love each other right. Preachers say we need communication. Tonight let's speak some love language. Oh, first off, since we said I do, in the sight of God we can do what we do. Second off, we don't need no phone. We don't waste time too long. So let me love you like clockwork. Tick-tock, tick-tock, like clockwork. Tick-tock, tick-tock, steady going like clockwork. Tick-tock, tick-tock, like clockwork. Tick-tock, until the end of time.
Clockwork. Available right now wherever music is streamed, so make sure you go check it out. Dietra, in that particular episode, it was me and my wife, if you would, and we decided to go to counseling. You are a very amazing, accomplished CEO, and we know that it takes a certain level of leadership to be a CEO, to drive people into the direction in which the Lord is giving you. But at home, baby, you somebody's wife.
Yes.
How do you go from CEO to submitting to your husband? And what's the beautiful balance that you've been able to create at home?
Very easily.
Yeah.
Here's the reality.
Yeah.
I think we overplay the glamour of being in leadership.
Yeah.
And so people get out there and they think, oh, you're the CEO, you're in charge, you're running stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That comes with a lot of weight.
Yeah.
When my people have to get paid and the money is low, I don't get paid.
Yeah.
And so I make decisions about people's lives all day. One of my biggest clients is Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with the highest level. When I get home, I am decisioned out.
Yeah.
So to have someone that's like, okay, I got you here is a blessing that so many people don't get. So I love to take the cape off.
Yeah.
I get home and the other day, it was raining outside. Hit something, my tire blew. I pulled over, made a phone call, was like, hey, my tire blew. What it looked like, I don't know. It's raining. I didn't get out.
Yeah.
He came, drove up. I still didn't assess the damage. I got out, took his keys, got in his car and left. I don't know how he was getting home.
Wow.
But it felt so good to not have to be in decision-making mode again because I do it all day long.
Yeah.
So for me, it's easy to take the cape off.
So how did you get to this point? Because I know right now that studies have shown that the number of successful women now is starting to outweigh the successful men because education-wise, women are going to college at a higher rate. So what was that process like? Talk to the young ladies right now who want to be married, but then now they got this whole soft life thing going on, but you still want to bring a boss, but you bring boss back into the house.
Here's what we have to really step back and assess. The people who are giving us a narrative, ask yourself, do I want to exchange positions with them?
Mm.
My husband and I laugh all the time because I have friends that are like, oh my gosh, you got lucky. And my husband and I started dating our junior year in college.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all were not checking for him then. And so the reality is they were looking for something that they thought was somewhere else. They wanted the guy in the BMW. Well, sugar, everybody want him.
Yeah.
They're looking for the guy who already has a name. Well, everybody wants him. And so I'm looking for potential. Where are we going? Where can we go together? What can we build together? And how can we align? And from day one, everything has been about alignment. Us making sure, hey, you get to do all these things, but this is where I got to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like my husband's like, you could decorate the house however you want, but I'm going to pick where we live.
Come on.
You could drive as far as you want to go, but we're going to live a lifestyle that I can afford. So even though there were times in our relationship where I made significantly more money than my husband, his thing was we're going to live on what I can afford because I'm the one responsible for making sure you have to have a place to stay.
Mm.
So you pay for our lifestyle, but I pay for our life.
You pay for the lifestyle, the trips and all that good stuff, but I'm going to take care of the lifestyle.
Yeah, he's like, the lifestyle, all you, because let's be clear, my husband is not as glamorous as I am. He's like, my life dream was a good apartment in a Cadillac. That's all I had planned.
Yeah.
So I'm the one that's like, okay, you know what? Let's vacation in Bali.
Yeah.
Let's go to Ghana.
Yeah.
He's like, we can go down to Savannah and I'm straight.
Hey, Savannah, nice too. Shout out to my Geechee people.
So he's like, I got to pay for our life, how we live, the food we eat, the place we live, the clothes we wear. But if you want your clothes to be Prada, Gucci, that's lifestyle.
Yeah.
But how we live, the fact that we can survive, I'm responsible for that. So no matter how much you make, I'm going to make sure we live a life that I can afford.
How does Dietra keep her eyes on the prize when you're in these rooms with these powerful men and at home you have a great man, but maybe not as glamorous as the other men that you sit in the room with? Like, how do you keep your borders and boundaries when there's so many? You're a beautiful woman. You get a chance to walk into these rooms. Like, how do you keep your borders and boundaries?
It's so funny. I remember one of my first clients when I stepped out on my own. Before I started my company, I was head of HR at University's Oxford College. So I was always around these PhDs, the leading researchers, hiring presidents and deans and everyone from the president to the janitor. And I would get to be around their families, and I would see these women who were married to the leading whomever. And again, my first consulting gig at this woman's house. She's married to an NBA player. The home is beautiful. It's the things you dream of as a child. And I see this beautiful portrait of her and her husband above this mantle that goes almost to the ceiling. And I said, oh my gosh, your home is beautiful. And you and your husband look amazing. And without even batting an eye, Willie, without even blinking, she looked at me and said, girl, that end don't come home. And I realized I would rather be in a studio apartment with a husband that came home than to be in this mansion wondering what he's going to bring home to me when he got here.
Wow. Wow. Hanging out with Dietra Giles. So those of you who don't know her, she's literally a CEO of a company that help people. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to let her help you in just a minute. We're just getting some backstory. So if you're having issues with your career and, you know, you haven't really seen how you can kind of upgrade what you're doing, please stick around because we're going to talk a little bit about her business, but just really getting backstory. You've been seeing people go up the ladder and you keep thinking to yourself, why isn't that happening to me? We're going to figure that out with her in just a minute, but I just want to talk to you a little bit more, just kind of building backstory. So did you grow up with mama and daddy in the home? How did Dietra grow up? Where did she get this drive from?
Dietra grew up dysfunctional. What's interesting is that everyone laughs that I'm the person that's been married the longest because when at 7 years old, I said, I am never getting married and I am never having children.
No.
Because for my entire life, I saw marriage as dysfunctional. I didn't think that was dysfunctional. I thought that's what it was. But I knew I didn't want that.
Yeah.
I saw kids as a burden. Again, didn't know what the title was, but I knew I didn't want that. So I identified very early on, I don't want a husband and I don't want children. And I was done with that. So I get to college and meet this guy who's like, no, I came to college to find my wife.
He was on it.
Sir, I am not she. I don't know who she is, but let me help you find her.
Sir, I'm not she. Sir, I'm not she. I am not she.
I wish to help you find her. Let me help you on your journey. He was like, no, it's you. Now, flip side, my husband's a PK. Parents have been married forever. They still live in the house that he was born in. They've lived in their house for over 50 years.
That's so good.
And so he saw this functional sign of marriage. I remember, to this day, I remember our first argument very vividly, but I don't remember what we were arguing about. We got into a disagreement and I raised my voice and he said, hold on. What you doing? I said, we arguing. He said, not like that.
That's not how we do things.
And here's the thing, Willie, I was so intrigued by that. I said, what do you mean? Tell me more. And he said, yeah, we're college students. We're going to be functional adults. There is no reason we have to raise our voice. And to this day, we have not raised our voices at each other.
Golly. That's great. That's so good.
To this day,
yeah.
my children have never heard their father raise his voice at me.
Jeez.
Never. Yeah. And even me, that was a lesson for me. I was like, wait, what? Say what now? Huh? How you argue without raising? In my family, there would literally be physical altercations. I remember stepping over two adults in a relationship fighting. And I was like, I don't want that. I don't want anyone to put their hands on me.
Yeah.
And so to have a person, a man, a partner say, not only do I not put my hands on you, we don't even raise our voices at each other.
Yeah.
It was like, what?
Whoa, wait a minute. Family, I want to make you aware that we are coming to a city near you. It's a new film entitled The Forge. And depending on when you watch this, I'm going to have it all on my Instagram. Go follow me right now at Willie Moore Jr. Live. I am creating a beautiful free experience for everybody under the sound of my voice. So just make sure that you have yourself in the city and we going to kick it. Hallelujah. Now back to the show. Flat out.
Not only do I not put my hands on you, we don't even raise our voices at each other.
Yeah.
It was like, what?
Yeah, all this is new to me too. I mean, here's the thing. I've never really seen my parents fight or anything like that because I was adopted. I never met anybody in my biological family until, I was much older. But I done heard a few, a few little arguments, that made it make sense. So it's a little girl in you who grew up in dysfunction, who grew up in a place where she did not see like a healthy representation of family. But then you find a man who has seen a pretty good representation. I'm sure everybody has their challenges growing up. What did you do to heal the little girl to be able to handle a man who required you not to raise your voice?
Oh my gosh, therapy and patience. I think oftentimes we talk about patience, we put it in terms of other, but we have to have patience with ourselves.
Yeah.
One of my degrees is in conflict management. So I talk about resolving conflict, managing conflict. And one of the things that we don't realize is that our biggest conflict is with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we forgive everybody, but we forget to forgive ourselves or what we assign blame. So a lot of things that happened to me as a child growing up, being sexually assaulted when I was 9 years old, being abused, being abandoned, I blamed myself for those things.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I really had to do was go through therapy to forgive myself, but also be patient with that healing process because it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And
Right.
it took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while.
So therapy really helped you out a lot more than,
Oh my gosh.
than a lot of things. Because, a lot of times we go to church, we leave it at the altar. A lot of people, even behind this camera now, as I talk, when you said that I was sexually assaulted, like it pricked their heart
Mm-hmm.
because that's something that they've never told anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are some men out there who are trying to love a woman in a certain type of way that may be a little too aggressive for the little girl in her, that may be the tone may be off, may be triggering to that little girl. And so as men, sometimes we don't even know that we're fighting with an unseen child that's still living on the inside of our woman. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit just about the gentleness that it took from your husband to be able to help you be the woman that you are today?
Oh my gosh. First of all, my husband has the patience of Job.
Come on.
Listen. And many people have met him. He's a soft strength. Like he's that person, he's a martial artist, but he will never start a fight.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he's a very accomplished martial artist. His goal is to always de-escalate. People in his face like, you don't want to, he's like, you know what, you're right. We don't want to. We all just want to calm down. And so he takes that same level of gentleness as it relates to me. So it makes it easy for me to be soft. Because I didn't grow up soft. I grew up around strong women, get out there, get it, hustle. And I'm a hustler. I'm from Miami, Florida, from the bottoms, 305 all day long.
Come on. No, I like these. Go ahead.
I'm a hustler. Yeah. And I'm a hustler that went to school and got 3 degrees, but that's still in me. And so to be weak is not in me. So to have someone that can embrace that strength and say, I'm strong enough to let your strength lie in me is something that you don't find often. And it's something that we overlook for those little things, that little trinkets. Oh, he got a car. Oh, he has a house. Oh, he looks like he's balling. Yeah, he's balling and broke. He's balling on a credit card. Mm-hmm. And are you looking at those things that really matter underneath? Can he handle the person that you're going to become? Mm-hmm. So I tell everyone in marriage, they ask me,
I'm seeing that thread. Keep going.
Yeah, what's the key to marriage? The key to marriage is knowing the person that you marry is not the person you're going to be married to. And can you be with the person that you're going to be married to? Because it's not the person that you have today.
Yeah. So, Dietra, you've helped so many people in the area of money. Were you able to switch or like as you grew, I'm sure his patient self might have knew this version. He might have been like, well, I know she gonna do something here. As long as she been talking and going, she gonna do something. And I'm sure he probably figured this part out. Is it easy for him to accept you being on the road? Like even in the next week or so, you about to go, do your thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you all had children. You were still moving and grooving. How was it for him to play that position? And what type of encouragement did you give him when sometimes he would have to be at home with the children?
It was difficult at the very beginning. But one of the things I am a strategist. Strategy it's my natural inclination. It's my gift. So I strategize in business. I strategize in life. I strategize in a relationship. So before I really hit the road a lot, I did all the research about my children's development. So I knew when it would be a good time for me to start traveling, when I need to come off the road based on where they were and their need for their mom, their dad. Like even now, it's easier for me to be out because my daughter's off in college, but my son is home. My son is 16. He needs his mama, but he needs his daddy around there. And there's some things they need to do that they don't want to see me doing, right? They want me to see them doing. And so it was a little bit tough at first, but I'm also that planner. When I would leave, say I was gone for a few days, I would cook meals and have them labeled like, this is Monday's meal, this is Tuesday's meal, this is Wednesday's meal. Stuff like that I would always do. And then when I'm home, they have my undivided attention. And even the kids are very clear. That's my husband first. I'm not that person that's, oh, my kids come before everybody. y'all gonna be grown and gone. And the
They're
only
gonna be
people
grown and
left
gone.
will be us. And
That's
if
true.
I put you first, what happens when I'm no longer your first? Because
That's
right
so
now, my
real.
daughter's in college and I was her best friend a few years ago. Now, when I come in town, she's like, can you give me something to eat or nah? And when you leaving, because I'm going to the club tonight, like
Yeah.
the campus crossing, like what's,
Yeah.
you know, they having a probate party. I'm
out.
out.
Yeah.
My son will do the same. I am his mom. I'm the light of his world right now. In a few years, he's going to be in college. He's going to meet his wife and I'm going to be secondary.
Yeah.
And now I got to look at a man that I put on the back burner and be like, oh, now it's your turn.
Yeah.
It didn't be my turn for 18 years. And now you want it to be my turn?
That's so real. I want to go back just real quick. You talked about doing the research on the right time to be with your children, the right time to leave and all that. Can you speak a little bit to that? Because right
Absolutely.
now, we living in this grind culture. What is the proper times for mothers to be in there with their children? Like, what are some pivotal moments that parents should be a part of?
You got to think about it. And it's different. It can be different. People will talk about nature versus nurture, but this data shows that it is different for males versus females.
Mhm.
And so that puberty time, the time when they are being unfamiliar with their bodies, the time when around the time when I knew my daughter would start her menstrual cycle, I did not want her father, who is amazing.
Come on. We gonna mess that all the way up.
Oh, baby. Listen, to this day, again, my husband and I have been together for almost 26 years.
Mhm.
In that 26 years, he made it clear at the very beginning, let me tell you, I love you. I will if a bear comes to attack us, I'm going to die and you're going to get away I'm not going to even question it.
Flat out.
But the one thing I shall not do for you is go to the store and buy pads.
I can't do it.
Never.
It's better than Pampers is what they say.
In 26 years, this man has not bought a single pad, tampon, nothing feminine. He's like, yeah, but I love you.
Yeah.
I will buy the CVS for you before I go in there and buy you some pads.
Hallelujah. I buy the whole store before I go. Oh, you better tell it. Man, you know what? Bring him in right now. Come on. I'm just playing. He's not coming. Everybody's like, oh, he's about to come. We can talk
But
about
those are the times where I knew she needed me there. When her body was developing, he didn't know what to tell her about getting breasts.
Yeah.
He didn't know he could tell her how guys would perceive her when she got breasts, but he couldn't tell her what it was going to feel like for guys to look at you differently. The
Right.
guy who used to be your friend is like, ooh, you looking
Yeah.
a little right now.
Yeah.
We've been together since kindergarten, and now I'm looking at you differently, and you don't feel different. You just know
Ooh.
that's my boy.
Yeah.
Now, why he pushing up on you now? I had to be there for times like that. And for my son, it was when he was having those awkward moments when the girls were like, you ain't cute. Well, now he's 6'1", and now he's like, oh, you know, you
Man,
look
what's
at,
up?
yeah,
voice
exactly.
deep now.
Exactly.
He got a chest muscle.
He got a little
He got
hair on
peach
it.
fuzz
Yeah,
right up here.
peach fuzz right there.
Yeah.
Like he want to walk around with no shirt on, so put the bird back in his cage.
Come
We all
on.
right around here.
Whole time, Peyton, I just got off the phone with Peyton. I was like, bro, you got to put a shirt on when you on here with me. Man, the guy's like, oh, sorry, Dad.
Yeah.
You know, and take that bass out your voice. That's what I would need you to do.
I know it's extra deep,
Yeah.
but when those transitions were happening, he needed me there. Now he needs to know what to do with that transition.
Hallelujah.
His daddy's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. So the moment that everybody's been waiting for, an opportunity for the hustler to come on out.
Come on.
You know,
I'm a
some people
hustler,
been working
baby.
at that same job for the last 15 years. This the Dietra I know, ladies and gentlemen. They've been sitting at that job for the last 15 years on the same salary, ain't changed nothing. They bring in new people, giving them all of the perks like it's a cell phone plan. You know, when you start a cell phone plan, they give you all the perks. You've been there longer than 5 years, they ain't giving you nothing. So it's the same in a job. How does a person right now, when they feel so stuck in their career and they can't move, what's the first step that they should do to try to get unstuck?
So my first book was called Unstuck, Discovering Career Limiting Actions. And here's the first thing people have to recognize. When you are in a job, you need to understand that you are a business. You are a multi-billion-dollar organization and your career is your product. So you are the CEO of that organization. Many of us act like we're just working a job. I'm going to get promoted. I'm going to work hard and they'll recognize that my work will speak for me. Your work is mute. it does not speak for you. Your work is like a body of evidence. Think of it as an attorney going to court. The attorney can't sit down and say, jury, read the evidence, and you come to a conclusion. No, they have to present the case because the evidence will not speak for itself. You have to be the same way. And we're sitting back hoping. Hope was a great campaign slogan, but it is a horrible career strategy.
So what do you do? Like, so I don't want people behind this camera to just bust up in their boss office like, I've been hoping too long. I was hoping that you would call me, but hope ain't did for me. I don't want them to do that. It's going to totally mess up everything that they have going on. I'm sure that there's some empirical data that you have to present to these people to let them know, hey, I'm important. I need this. Talk to me about those steps.
So there are a few steps. First of all, prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Know exactly what you want. I can't tell you how many people come to me and say, Dietra, I want you to be my executive coach. And I'm expensive. And I say, well, tell me what you want to do. Oh, I don't know. What if you don't know? That's not telepathy is not one of my jobs. I can't know it for you. So know exactly what you want and then know the requirements for that position and know what the gaps are between where you are and where you want to be. And then go out and begin to fill them. Here's the thing. Most of us don't realize that the gap is influence, not a tangible thing. So we don't have the people in place that can speak for us. We don't have the person that goes in the room when you're not there and say, you know what, you need to be hiring Willie. Willie knows this. Why? Because no one knows what you do. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I'm not kissing them people, but I come to work, do my job and leave. Well, people that do that get what you have. Right?
Yeah.
And so you already see how the outcome of that process. And if you want something different, you can't do the same thing and expect to get something different. That's not how it works. So what are you doing now that's not yielding results? And what do you see the people who are getting the results? What are they doing differently? Yeah. That was my first TEDx talk. I talked about, it was about employeepreneur. And I said, you have to manage your career like a business, but notice who is doing the thing differently. What are they doing that you're not doing? What I did was I thought my grandma told me, go to school, get good grades, stay out your boss's office, and don't forget you ain't white.
Please don't forget you ain't forgot.
Those were my requirements.
Yes, Lord.
Except the people that were advancing, that's not what they did.
That's what they were doing.
They were at the country club.
Yeah.
They were at happy hour. They asked for extra projects. My grandma said, don't do nothing they ain't paying you for. If you got to answer the phone one extra time, ask how much they gonna pay you. The people that were moving up the ladder, they were like, what extra projects could I get on? But they were strategic about the extra projects. Influence, remember? I know the VP of sales is on that project. I'm trying to get into the sales organization. That's the project I want to volunteer my time with. So I could be in the VP of sales space.
So hanging out with Dietra Giles, if you just kind of clicked in on the premiere and you just like, man, I'm just kind of feeling her energy. She literally helps people like you and I like take our careers to another level. So loving you more also means like loving yourself more in your workplace as well, knowing your worth, making sure that you're not meandering in the maze of mediocrity because you're afraid to have a conversation with people who can make changes, right? And so that's what Dietra's doing today. So Dietra, you have a person right now, they making $50,000 a year, but they know that their talents are probably worth six figures. They may have started a little low. What is the protocol of walking in and saying, hey, man, listen, I want to do this, but I got to do it at this. Mm-hmm. Like, how do we change our pay just on a conversation? Is it something that we do? How do we get there?
Absolutely. So a few things. Don't think just because you're at this salary, you have to go to the logical next step. People think 10,000, 20,000. No, you can double your salary. There is nothing wrong with making 50 and walking in your boss's office and asking for 100. Because the answer to the unasked question is always no. So if you don't ask for 100, you will never get 100. And here's the other thing. We often think the answer has to be yes or no. And because of that, we miss the chasm of opportunity between the two. If you go in and ask for 100, what if they say, no, but I'll give you 75? You were only going to get 10. Mm-hmm. Now you're at 25 more. You're already doing better. So be willing to put yourself out there and ask for exactly what you want. Now let's back it up. Make it make sense for them. No one cares what you want. They care about the value you add. My background is human resources. So what I will tell you as a human resources professional, as a professor in human resources, as a data researcher, as the person that people from around the world call to talk about this stuff in their organizations, you get paid what they think they can get out of you. So what that means is if your salary is 50, they know that they should be making 2 to 5 times your salary to make you worth it. They're the house, like Vegas. They're not going to lose.
Yeah. They the house, baby.
They the house. The house never loses. Okay. So if I pay you 50, I need to make 100 to sometimes $500,000 saving or making off of you. So when you go in there, know the value you add. Hey, this position is going to add X to the bottom line. I think I'm worth at least 10% of that. Mm-hmm. If that's $1 million, 100,000. Yeah. Because I'm worth 10% of that. But they won't pay you more because you don't know the value you add. When you speak in terms of what I make for this company, it changes the conversation because it puts you in the driver's seat.
Right. No, that's good. I know y'all felt that in your sha-na-na. So here's the thing. How do you find out how much you're worth?
Great question. There are several sites, places like Indeed, where a lot of people go just to find a job. There is salary data on Indeed. Salary.com is another great one. You can go to salary.com and not just put in the title. You can put in your years of experience and your location. Because let's be clear, if you are living in Manhattan, it is not the same as living in Nutbush, Alabama. You need to know exactly how much it costs to be where you live. And here's the thing that many people miss. People walk in the door negotiating salary. You never negotiate salary.
Okay.
You always negotiate a TCP, a total compensation package. There are people that are losing money because they negotiated a salary. They came like, I got to make $100,000. Cool. I'll give you 100. But what you don't know is your benefit's going to be $3,000 a month. Now we've knocked your salary down, right? Oh, and then on top of that, you got to pay for parking. And then on top of that, you got to pay for this. And so by the time you negotiate everything, you're actually back to where you were before you took the job. Yeah. So when you walk in the door saying, I want to negotiate the total compensation package, it changes everything. I had a client recently. I deal with high-end clients. So she wanted a salary of $500,000.
Gotta have.
The organization could only pay her $350,000, and she was going to walk away. And I said, hold on.
Some more in there.
We don't negotiate salary. Mm-hmm. We negotiate total compensation package. What else can they give you? It was a real estate company. Ask them for a house. Ask them for a car allowance. So they were able to give her a house. She didn't own the house, but she didn't have to pay mortgage, rent, or anything. Nice house. Mortgage probably would have been about $4,000 or $5,000. Mm-hmm. Car allowance. So the car allowance covered her luxury car payment and then some. So she has a $1,500 car allowance every month.
Come on.
By the time we looked at her total compensation package, she was closer to $700,000, and all she wanted was $500,000.
Yeah, because there's some more buckets over there.
And we leave it on the table every time.
Yeah.
Something as minor as parking, something as minor. Another client recently, they offered her a great job she wanted, but she didn't want to move. I said, let's negotiate remote work. Let's negotiate you staying where you live. That saved her an additional $200K in moving expenses, house shopping, buying a new house, selling her house, $200,000, just because we negotiated that as a total compensation package.
That TCP. Put that in the chat real quick, because you ain't never heard about it, did you? You thought it was TCB, that curl stuff we used to put in our hair and do that. Not TCB, baby, TCP. Total compensation package. Put it in the chat. Total compensation package. So when you're talking about the TCP, like, is there a different mindset that has to be created?
Yes.
And what's the step to give you that type of mindset?
You have to walk in the door thinking everything is available to me and I am worthy of it.
I think that need to be somebody's declaration right now. Say it one more time.
Everything is available to me and I am worthy of it. I tell people,
available to me and I'm worthy of it.
Absolutely. There are two, when you go to a restaurant, there are two types of people. Uh-huh. There is the person that sees the menu and say what they tell me, if we have burritos, tacos, that's what's available to me. And then there's a person that sees ingredients. Oh, y'all got guacamole, y'all got this. So I'm going to order something that's not on the menu because you have the ingredients to make what I want.
Exactly.
When you walk into that conversation negotiating your total compensation package, you're not looking at menu items, you're looking at ingredients. With my client, I said, wait a minute. This is a real estate company. They have the ingredient of housing. Ask for housing.
Yeah.
This is a car company. They have the ingredients of cars.
Come on.
Hey, this is a telecommunications company. They have Wi-Fi. Get the highest and get it free.
Yeah.
So think about when you walk into that thing, don't think menu items, think ingredients. What do they have available to them that they can give me access to?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Everybody thought I was crazy because it was a certain little number of what that was doing. I was like, I'm not worried about the number. This is what I need. I need office space. I need this. I need that. And if they can do this and I can only do this, then we can do it. And they was like, that's it? I was like, oh, you don't even realize those are the ingredients for me to turn this into a multi-billion-dollar company, if I have these tools. And when they said yes to the tools, I'm like, uh-oh.
They don't know what they did.
Y'all don't even know what done happened. You mean to tell me I'm downtown Atlanta? What? Do you realize? But everybody, but you're so right. And I just really want to highlight this point. People are so focused on the bottom line, how much you get paid a year. I'm like, no, I didn't call it ingredients. I called it the tools. If I can get these tools in my tool belt, if I'm working with KD and then I'm right here, then I can do this, 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 and this. And at night I can do a staff and da-da-da-da-da-da, and we can do this. I was like, oh my God, give me 12 months. Like, oh my God, give me 12 months then. And it's so important that you see that because the trajectory when you grow up, like my grandma was like your grandma. You know, I grew up with 2 ex-sharecroppers. They were just happy to get whatever they can get. They had marginal education. They had a whole lot of love, still got a whole lot of love. God bless, they still there. And I just know that, especially for people who are always in survival mode, these type of conversations are good, but they still feel like, well, man, you know, that ain't really for me. Talk to those people right now who don't love themselves enough to ask for what they need.
You know, the hard part is that when Drake made the song, Started From the Bottom, Now We Here, everybody loves singing that song. But when you started from the bottom, you're always looking up and never around, right? And that's where many of us are. We're always looking up. So I'm always looking up to the thing I can't access, I can't reach, I can't have, I have to go further. And we never stop and look around and say, wait a minute, look where I got. I'm worthy of this. And because we're always looking up and never around, we don't have a dream. The reason you were able to say, I just need these tools, because you knew what your next was. We're always hoping someone will give us our next. And so when you're like, just give me some studio space, because y'all don't know what I could do with studio space. If we stop and say, you know what is my dream? What do I need tools for? People often think they need money. Even when I'm working with entrepreneurs, I will say, okay, how much you need? Oh, I need $100,000. No, you don't. You need what $100,000 will buy. What is that? The reason many entrepreneurs don't qualify for a loan is because they don't know what they'll do with the money. And that's anyone giving you a loan is like, what you gonna do with it? I figure it out when I get it. Not with my money.
Not with my money.
Absolutely not. You can't get it. I'm not gonna invest in you and you don't know what you're gonna do with the money. And so that's the real thing. We just want money and I'll figure it out when I get it. No. Because the reality is, if you figure out what you need it for, you don't need the money. And that's what TCP says. I tell my clients, okay, I know you want this money, but if they gave you the money, what would you do with it? Oh, I'll pay mortgage. Well, ask for a house. If they gave me, if I had money, I'll get studio time because I'm trying to be an artist. What? Ask for
studio time or studio.
Oh, you know, I want to make videos, and well, ask to use the equipment. Put that in your TCP. Like, hey, I get to use this equipment free of charge when I'm off. Or, and here's the thing people forget. They often wonder why these top executives do something crazy, some impropriety, and how you do all that and still leave with $1 million. That's crazy to me, because your TCP also includes your exit. Don't negotiate your exit on your way out. You negotiate your exit on your way in. That's why people have prenups, like in case it don't go right.
Hell, I know I'm about to get me one if it happen again, KD. Hell no, I ain't going back to the court. They looking all through my companies and all that. Like, and I'm biting my nails like, Lord, let me keep my little company.
Listen, I've done divorce mediations. The easiest divorce mediations I've ever done was like, we already know we just got to go to mediation because it's a requirement in this county to go through mediation before divorce, but it's laid out.
Hallelujah.
The time to to decide on what we gonna do is not when we all upset. Now we fighting over the goldfish just because I don't want you to have it because you like it.
Yeah.
But you negotiated on your way in. Hey, how is this going to exit? And that's why they walk away with millions of dollars. Because on their way in, they said, if this don't go right, how we gonna end this? Because everything you're in, every relationship you're in is going to end. Whether it ends in promotion, death, retirement, whatever, it's going to end. So why not negotiate the inevitable?
Listen, Dietra, I ain't got but 5 minutes, so I'm gonna just ask just a few more questions. Do me a favor, I know you watching in the chat, leave some questions on here, and then I'm gonna make sure that I ask her offline, and then I'll come back in and talk to you. Leave a question if you have one for her. Do it real quick though, because I ain't gonna be on here a whole bunch of times. So listen, I gotta ask you this. So we talked about TCP. However, when it comes to a person right now who's coming fresh up out of college, because I got a lot of college students right now, they can make millions of dollars right here online. They have so many different untraditional ways that they can make money. What do you think the best next step are for like college students or for parents who have college students?
I tell every college student, go and work in someone's company.
Okay.
It is training while they pay you. Even my daughter, she did an internship with my company and she said, Mommy, when I graduate, I'm going to come work for you. No, you're not.
You're not. That's cute. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day you can, but I follow the Truett Cathy method. He's like, before his children or anyone in his line could come work for him, he made them go work somewhere else for like 3 to 5 years. Go over there and learn it. Go learn business. Many of these kids are out here running a company. Oh, I'm on YouTube. You don't know anything about business. Half of y'all gonna be in jail in 5 years because you don't know about taxes.
Yeah.
You don't know about accounting. Yeah. You don't know about finance. You don't know about staffing. You really don't know about marketing. You just got lucky and got some attention, but you don't really know what you're doing. So when the market shifts, will your followers shift? Yeah. You don't know how it works. So go somewhere and actually learn how it works in real life, because what they teach you in school and what happens when you hit the job are two very different things. Yeah. So go and learn on somebody else's dime while they're paying you. And here's the deal in the company, go and do all the things. There is not competition for doing stuff. Yeah. Nobody's fighting to do all the stuff. Go in there and learn every aspect: marketing, technology, infrastructure, operations, logistics, learn it all. Yeah. And then go run your company. Then go work in your family's company, so you won't have intellectual incest because you only know are doing what you learned from the person next to you.
The girl said intellectual incest. I'm going to just raise my hands like this real quick. Hallelujah. We don't like incest at all, especially intellectual kind. Hallelujah. Dietra, can we do this? Now, I got to ask, because I've been wanting to ask you for a long time. It's just my brain be going. I be moving so fast. Now, I got all the tools now. I'm talking about I got people that I have potential. Listen, I'm horrible with staffing people. Horrible. I lead with my heart. I got a pastor's heart. And then some people right now, they just getting paid. Hell, they ain't even doing too much work. I just like, hell, they got a family. You know what I mean? Oh, I got to stop that, which means I got to have some type of coach. Now, your coaching $25,000 plus. Not gonna pay you that at this point in my life. All I need is about 60 days with you, and then I'd probably be able to pay you because you're gonna tell me whatever I need to do. So can we just can you help Willie Moe Jr. and the Love You More family right here? Look right in that camera right there and say yes or no. If you can help me for 30 to 60 days. And come on, you've been on the show for a long time, woman of God. Look right there. Because this is data, Katie, in 5, 4, 3, and the answer is
I will help you. That doesn't mean I help you for free.
Oh, I just need at least a consultation for that.
I got you. All right,
cool. So listen, to those of you today, I just want to be honest with you. There are so many different facets and different layers to loving you more. And I thought today would be a good day for you to understand that you are worthy because you've worked so hard. I remember one time I was walking through the airport. I was traveling with Dr. Eric Thomas, and we were speaking. I missed the road, probably getting on the road again pretty soon. But we were speaking, and this one dude, they know I'm from St. Louis. I'm from the neighborhood. I don't, every period and comma, I don't really get it all the time. And this dude, he was just like, I'm a speaker too, man. One day, bro, I'm gonna be on that stage with y'all. And I was like, yeah, you know how you give them good job. You're gonna be there one day, it's all good. And he was like, shoot, for real, like I can hold it down. I can probably, you know what I'm saying? I can handle you and him if I need to. And that's when I had to pause. And I was like, you think they paying me for what I'm doing right now? I said, let me talk to you. Pulled him to the side. I said, man, I was adopted when I was 3 months old. Never met my biological family. I looked in the mirror until I was 40 years old. Never met anybody in my biological family. So I never knew where my greatness came from. I compared myself to so many people, and I ran down so many different hurts, pains, hang-ups, and habits that I had to overcome. And I looked at them at the end of it. I said, listen, they not paying me for now. They paying me because I made it through what I made it through. So nouns and verbs, you gonna always beat me. Cause I didn't really pay attention in college like I was supposed to. I majored in Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. He laughed and we joked. I said, but nobody's gonna move a crowd like me because they ain't been through what I've been through. So ain't no comparing me to you. So run your own race and make them pay for what you have now overcome. And now you have the strategies that are necessary for people to overcome. But walking in my lane, you will never win. And me walking in your lane will never win. So what am I telling you today? You've been through too much to sit there at the bottom and not get what you're supposed to get. Get the strategy. Get the understanding. Go out there and get what you're worth. For the kingdom of God, I know there are many people with a lot of different metaphysical orientations. That's fine. But to the people who are the blood-bought believer, please understand that God desires to do you good, that you're the head and not the tail, the lender and not the borrower, above and not beneath. You were made to win. And if the Bible says it, I believe it. Do you? If so, I want you to start thinking about what your future looks like. Start looking at what you need. Start putting it on paper. Start connecting with people who can help you get to the next level. We laughed about it. We joked about it at the end of the show. When I said, Dietra, I had a question for you, this, that, and other. I never get into the presence of greatness without an ask. I knew what I wanted before we got on the show. Do you know what you want before you walk into the boss's office is the question. I know exactly what I know. I know exactly where I'm losing. I know exactly what I need. I know the answers that I need. Do you know what you need? Like, I know what answers I need. Like, I need answers on this. As you look at your children and you look at your husband and you look at your wife and you look at where you are, the question becomes is, are you satisfied where you are? And if that answer to that question is no, we got to do something different. We got to do something different. Part of loving yourself more is to be able to self-assess and say, I don't like this. And it's not worth holding on to. The moment that you start to release it, it gives God the freedom to add more value to your situation by giving you something new. I know we used to fighting like this, but in the kingdom of God, we got to learn how to fight like this. And with our hands open, God can send the right pieces to the puzzle to make your life beautiful. Don't forget to love you more. Subscribe to this channel. Share this with as many people as possible. Make sure that you follow Dietra Giles. I'm gonna put her information in the details in this particular YouTube video. I'm gonna put it right under here. So make sure that you check out those details and make sure that you connect with her. Make sure that you look online. Make sure that you tune into the Willie Moore Jr. show. She's on a lot, so please make sure that you connect with her. You had a good time. If you did, put something in the comments that you learned that you're gonna take back to your house and like, girl, I'm finna go do it. Don't you run out there and get hit in the street. Go out with a plan, okay? Put together a good plan, and I believe great things are gonna happen to you. I love you too here. I don't know why I feel like crying for you, because I know you felt something in your heart. Like, I know you now have the fire to say, I'm gonna ask for what I believe I'm worth. All right? Love you more, flat out. Wow, what an amazing show with my dear sister from another, Mr. Dietra Giles. So proud of her and all that the Lord's allowing her to do. Family, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you send this to as many people as possible. Make sure that you leave a comment. I'm doing my best to read every single comment, but we're growing so much in stature. I may not can answer everybody, but I'm challenging you to write it because I do get an opportunity to see it, good or bad. So family, make sure you tell 10 people, come on, say it with me, 10 people about the Love You More show. As we continue to grow, we're growing at an expeditious rate, and we only want to grow faster, but we don't want to outrun the pace of God's grace. Okay, so make sure you subscribe, leave a comment. I love you to life. Flat out.